Honda's insane new plan to develop reusable rockets better than SpaceX leaked. Honda is a Japanese company that focuses on building cars and shipping them all over the world. As of the year 2021, this Japanese car maker is focusing on developing reusable rockets in the same style of SpaceX, but even better. Stay tuned to find out more about this extravagant rocket. Japan's Nikkei introduced a report that said that Honda was preparing to launch a test rocket by the year 2030. Honda has been preparing to develop a reusable launch vehicle for small satellites for this test launch. The Tokyo-based company is poised to expand its business into flying cars, eVTOL, or electric vehicle takeoff and landing aircraft. Along with this, they also plan to include multi-fingered avatar robots and energy production on the lunar surface, giving SpaceX competition. Everything from autos to utilities to appliances which are online and create new revenue opportunities both on Earth as well as in outer space. According to the Honda CEO, the technologies required for rocket combustion and control are already in the hands of the automakers. They just have to apply it in another field. The young Honda engineers proposed the idea to build a small rocket by utilizing core technologies. Hence, the company began work in late 2019 for the engineering requirements needed for a reusable rocket. Over the next 6 years, the company has decided to spend 5 trillion yen, or $45 billion, on the research and development, but did not specify how much of it will be used for rocket development. Nikkei Asia reported that it would use liquid propellant. This way, satellites weighing less than 1 ton will be able to orbit around the Earth. Honda has said that it would apply its autonomous driving technology for flight control and guidance, and its combustion technology developed for gas cars to build a liquid fuel system for rockets. They will also apply combustion technology developed for gasoline engines. Honda plans to refine its prototype engine before entering the commercial market. Their experience with internal combustion engines will also come in handy in developing liquid fuel rockets, hoping to change the field where the technologies are applied. Walter Range mentioned that the company knew how to produce highly reliable components on a larger scale, as they have the engineering expertise to apply it to the challenge of rocketry. They also mentioned that this is not the first auto company to enter the space industry. The initiative of the automaker will place itself in tough competition against billionaire and SPAC-backed companies like SpaceX, Rocket Lab, Blue Origin, and Virgin Orbit. A lot of these satellite companies don't make any profit, therefore depending on the business of the smaller satellites. According to Mordor Intelligence's market research, the small satellite industry is set to grow from $4 billion to $7.2 billion by 2026 due to the demand for low Earth orbit imaging and communication satellites. These small satellites are expected to find new applications, including measuring concentrations of greenhouse gases and gathering location data for self-driving cars. Even with such technologies, it's going to be a difficult challenge for new companies as launching these satellites are still limited and largely dominated by a handful of companies. In addition to this, the competition to lower the cost of the launch is also intense. The automaker also mentioned the multi-fingered robots on the lunar surface. These robots will be able to delicately pick up a small object with its fingertips as well as have the strength to open a tight jar. It'll primarily be used as a remote surrogate to perform tasks. As an example, the automaker mentioned the use of these robots as a paramedic controlling the robot to attend to a patient. Technology demonstrations are expected to begin by March 2023. By the 2030s, practical use should be possible. Only a handful of companies dominate the market to launch these satellites, as it costs as much as $70 million per launch into Earth's orbit using a SpaceX Falcon 9. This is after the company has its costs cheaper than traditional single-use rockets. SpaceX has, however, made it less expensive for the smaller satellite makers through its satellite rideshare program, while Rocket Lab lowered it by making smaller reusable boosters. These small low Earth orbit satellites are an inspiration to launch these rockets, so some of the rocket components land back on the Earth. To reach this goal, they plan to use control and guidance technologies that are already developed for self-driving cars. Honda and Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, are working together for energy production on the lunar surface. Honda plans to build the circulative renewable energy system on the lunar surface by leveraging fuel cell technologies and high differential pressure water electrolysis technologies Honda has amassed today. This is designed to supply oxygen, hydrogen, and electricity for crewed lunar orbiters and rovers. Honda is also looking into the possibility of breaking down lunar water into hydrogen and oxygen components, with Honda's already existing fuel cell technologies and water electrolysis technologies. Now that we've come to the end of the video, we can see that Honda is also trying to research from February 2021 to create remotely controlled robots to roam the lunar surface. Honda plans to take the company further with hopes of launching a small satellite rocket into low Earth orbit.